right now. You know, it's just one of those things that maybe we can sweeten the pot just a little bit. You know, but on the flip side of that, you know, I'm sure that if we presented it to the employees to find out if this is something they wanted to buy into by using the vacation time, you may find that that would be, you know, something that they'd be willing to do as well. And I have no problem bringing that up to them. And the whole idea is to treat your employees the way we would all like to be treated. And that's what the whole idea is. And when you're in such a competitive world, keeping employees, sometimes making that pot just a little bit nicer is not a bad thing.
So why don't we make that a policy, a rule then, and so we don't have to discuss it every time there's a holiday?
Well, I don't think we do discuss it every time there's a holiday. We do discuss it if it's a big holiday. Christmas, if it does fall on the right time, if it fell on Wednesday or something along that line, it wouldn't be a
Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, 4th of July.
New Year's, we don't go down the path of New Year's. Christmas is one. Thanksgiving is one, but we swapped the training day on the Thanksgiving one. There was one there where there was some mandatory training that our employees had to go in to do, and that's how that all originated.
I guess I would agree with Bob in the sense that if we're going to do this, I think we should look at a list of potential holidays and say these are the 3 we're going to give everybody a 4-day weekend on, and that's it. Obviously that can change in the future, but I'd like to sort of, if New Year's one and Christmas one this year?
New Year's, we didn't do anything with New Year's, but we did, I think, do it this year with Christmas. It depends on how the calendar falls.
No, but if it's on a Tuesday or Thursday, you're always going to have that
Right.
day one way or the other.
Yeah.
So if there are some holidays we're going to do that for, let's establish that and say this is a benefit that we want to provide for you, but not all holidays are going to be treated that way.
Right.
And and it might be that's the way we're leaning, but let's look at a list.
And nobody's expecting this.
No, I know.
You know, this
No,
isn't something that people have come to me and say, geez, can we do it? This is something that I'm just trying to come up with ways to.
And I agree with that philosophy, but I'd like to sort of have us sort of establish a consistency so that we know there are certain days we're going to provide this extra free benefit day, but others we're not.
Right.
So I would be fine going along with the 4th of July for now, and then sometime between now and Labor Day, coming up with a policy.
Mm-hmm.
That when holidays fall on Tuesdays and Thursdays, these holidays, employees get paid. These holidays, they can take a personal day. These days, you go to work.
We can do that.
And then we never have to have this discussion again.
Well, we will.
We'll always have this discussion.
Well, not of those of us who aren't here anymore.
Does that create any hardship for your department where you guys cover every day anyway? And
No, we would have to make it available to them as well, but that's fine.
you have your own rules and everything you go
Yeah.
by anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's a great year to do that. Agree with Bob, because it's going to be all hands on deck all year long.
Yeah,
So
it has been.
they're going to be ready for a little vacation by the 1st of July, I think, because I think the rest of June they're going to be pretty busy. So did you make that motion, Bob, or was that a suggestion?
No, I move that we authorize the town manager to close the office on July the 5th, and employees will get that as a paid day off, and furthermore, that he'll work on a policy for the next major holiday that we can at least look at.
I'll second that. Any more discussion?
Well, the only thing is you're gonna be basically 4 years into it before you're gonna run into the holidays on the schedule, because you
That
jump
we're
ahead of
dealing
it.
with right now.
What we're dealing, Christmas and
Right.
4th of July.
So it's
So
gonna be
you're
4
4
years
years
out.
out
Yeah.
before it's on a Tuesday.
He's got time.
Or Thursday.
Well, yeah, but then you're,
4 years to next
Then you're
Tuesday.
3 years
Was
after
everything
that.
on a Thursday this year?
It seems to be that's the way it's
Or
falling.
was
The big holidays are coming
Christmas,
on Thursdays.
Christmas was Thursday?
Wednesday.
I don't want to have for breakfast. You want to take-
I have a, can you just review what the police do when there's what is the practice for the police department on?
They get an 8-hour paid holiday day. So they get 8 hours pay. Whether they have that day off, or whether they work.
But if
that
they're
day,
scheduled to work,
They work it.
they work.
Yep,
If they're not scheduled to work, they get.
they get 8 hours.
So this won't change at all the way that the police department's being treated for that?
Is there,
Or
they
will-
have a union contract.
Well, that's why I'm asking the question,
Yeah.
because I want to make sure that we don't
Well, it's safety, it's
uh,
contract.
go against the
Yeah,
contract.
right.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be in addition to their contract. We would be adding a day to the contract. I don't think we'd get any complaints, certainly from the complaint department, but it would be beyond the contract.
So for this one day this year, if we, would that be automatically changing the contract for the
No.
future? It
No,
would
I
just be
think
for this.
we offer that one day right now, or however many days it ends up being, but for that one day, we would offer that one day, and it wouldn't affect anything beyond that, would be my take on it. So, and then, like, again, I don't think there'd be any complaints.
No, I know.
If you're working with a contract, anything you do like that becomes a precedent. When you're working without a contract, it's just something you do. So it needs to be considered when you do that.
Well, I mean, we could certainly put it in writing with them that, you know, you're being offered this day, you can either take it or you can't, but it's just this one day.
Non-precedent
Yeah,
situation.
and all the time, so, right.
Yeah. Bob made a motion and I seconded. All in more discussion? All those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And there's an item added, I don't know if everybody's got it on their agenda, but there's a letter we have here about Shine on Cass situation at the library they want to consider.
We were approached by Monica back a few weeks ago, actually, and there was a discussion, and she approached me again last week and asked me if it was something I could get on the agenda. And so I asked her to do a write-up, which you've got a copy of. What they would like to do is they would like to pay, the Shine on Cass Foundation, pay for an outdoor reading space at the Oakland Library. And they've actually, I think you got a copy of the company who's looking to do the job. And it's something that benefits the users of the library. We have a large following of younger people who go down there in the kids section. And Cassidy Charette was part of her thing where she would go down and read, so it's a remembrance of her, but to benefit the community as well. I think this is a great idea. I think it's just one more thing to make the library even more attractive and more appealing, and I support this. I think that there's a lot of good things coming out of this foundation right now, and I think that where she's kind of focusing on Oakland, you know, I would recommend that we accept this generous offer and work with her.
Anybody have any questions?
I guess my only question would be, is there a site plan of how they're gonna do it, in case you wanna add something in the future, or they're gonna put it right in the middle of the back lawn, and then you won't be able to do anything around it?
Well, the back lot's not a very large space.
Right, that's what I know.
It's right over there, and, you know, it's dead space right now that's really not being used, and we have to mow the grass, and what this is gonna do. You know, getting around it, we can access both sides of the building. I mean, we can get around by the Legion side, so that's not gonna be a huge issue as far as that goes. I think there's no real site plan, there's just a discussion, and
I'm just thinking, down the road, somebody might wanna put a small gazebo back there or something to go along with this.
right.
Are they thinking
Well,
of
I
that?
mean, obviously, if that happened, that won't be happening. If we, you know, it's,
No, I just don't know how much room's back there, and if they, like, say, they're gonna take the middle of it, or if you're thinking of maybe future growth, and it's gonna be like one corner of it in the garden, right to the middle of it, or whatever, I don't know.
yeah.
It's a great idea, don't get me wrong, I'm just,
I don't think we're gonna change the landscape so much that it's gonna be detrimental. The contractor is asking permission to to be acquired from the abutting landowner so that they can cross their property over that. Personally, I don't see anything down the road coming up to this space. I mean, I think this is as good of an option as what we can have. The gazebo, you know, we've got one of those.
I'm just saying a small one to go along with this or something.
I think this is a great idea, and I'll make a motion that the town manager and the manager of the library and I assume AJ might end up doing some little maintenance on this, so I would think you should get him involved in it, and the three of you can decide on where to put this and what to do.
Awesome. Perfect.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Thank you, gentlemen.
We're down to the manager's report.
I have nothing on the manager's report for this meeting.
We have some executive sessions to go into. Before we do that, we'll see if there's anything that anybody in the audience have. Chief?
Just thank you again.
Deputy Chief, anything else?
Thank you very much.
Kelly?
I just wanted to follow up with Gary about my request about the Country Club Road KMD intersection.
I did pass that on. Have they cleaned it up?
No, and it's getting worse from the rain, it's washing down more.
Okay, I will get on
I'm just
that.
afraid a motorcycle's
Yeah,
gonna,
and we're out sweeping every day, but we're so short-handed right now. We're down two full-time positions.
I thought it was better today.
oh, unless it happened after this morning.
I know they're out sweeping
Well, like
today.
at 10 o'clock, I went up and
I go up at 7.
I thought it was better. At least I didn't spin around the corner like Beach did, buggy.
And maybe they did do it today, I didn't come home that way, that's the way I go to work in the morning.
Jeff and I have discussed, and I forwarded your email,
Okay.
as you saw.
Yeah, I did see it, yeah.
And I did talk with them about it. They had guys out this morning sweeping, so they're trying to get some of these loose ends up.
Okay. That was all.
And that was,
Make a note, he spins around the corner.
that.
a lot of that was the ditches.
It wasn't my
get filled up,
fault.
and it's
I was
washing
the
that
victim.
sand out.
Yeah, the, just as a road,
It was the
that
vehicle
one way,
that
you do it the other way.
That's understandable.
There will be
There's a
a
lot of
police
gravel.
cruiser there in the morning.
That's just afraid a
Fine.
motorcycle was gonna-
Meg, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you guys could repeat what the bid was for the police cruiser.
I'm sure the guy has one he can give you.
It was 44,247.
Anything you want to bring up now, Dave?
No.
Sean? All set. Anything the council wants to bring up in general discussion before we go into? One thing I was, I had a CMP retirees meeting this week, and the president of CMP was there, and I thanked him for his help in helping us financially out here to get the power lines moved. And after our discussion, I says, by the way, you know you're paying for a fire station, right? And he says, yeah, I read that in the paper. Apparently in one of Meg's articles, it said that, you know, the new additional taxes from the CMP station would be paying for that. Apparently he'd read that in the paper. So he said he wishes more towns knew that CMP taxes were helping them.
I bet he does.
So that's the only thing I had. Nothing else, we'll go into executive session. Thank you all for coming.
I move we go into executive session to discuss confidential records. 1 MRSA, section 4056F, real estate. For Mr. Mark
All
B.
those in favor?
That was the last one.
That was it.
Yeah, the last one, it lasted very
Have a good trip,
I mean,
Kelly.
Is that okay?
I'm sure you should feel
I hope I
better.
remember to take it.